After being in front of your computer for many hours, it's time to detox. Of course, it occurs to me that if you're watching this video, it's hardly a digital detox. The best way for all of us to detox is forest bathing. But some of us don't have a forest to walk through nearby, so taking a yoga break could be the next best thing for some of us. When you're in front of a computer or your smartphone a lot, we tend to get smaller from the pelvis up to the shoulders. There's a lot of rounding of the upper back. So in this practice, we'll work to open up and create more spaciousness from the pelvis all the way to the shoulders. We'll begin in a seated posture. Sit however it feels right for you. To create more spaciousness in the upper body, I always like working on the side body length from the pelvis to the armpit, and of course the front body from the pubic bone all the way to the sternum. So you can sit in a chair if you wish, if it's not comfortable on the floor. First, take a hold of your right hand with your left hand, have your elbows bent, and reach over as you spread the fingers of the right hand. Just get the side body to be so much more spacious. And rise up. Take hold of the opposite hand and spread your fingers. Reach over with the elbow bent. See if you can create a little bit more length by lifting your elbow just a little bit higher. And come back to center. Now do the same with the left hand at the right elbow. See if you can lift the elbow up slightly as you draw over. Just a little bit more space in there. And rise up. Take hold of the left elbow. Spread the fingers of the left hand. Reach over. Just a little pull with the right hand. The left arm is actually resisting. It's drawing from the elbow to the armpit to create a little bit more strength and engagement in the upper arm. Release out of the pose. Now take your left hand just to the mat, or if you're on a chair, just take it to the seat of the chair. Lift your right arm up and reach it over and bring the spaciousness to the side body. Inhale, take your right arm down to the side. Take your left arm up, reach it over, and enjoy the breath, the spaciousness that you get just from a few poses here. Now come back to the center position with your hands in a cactus pose. Take your hands further back than your elbows are and reach your hands back a little bit. Exhale, just take your hands down. Inhale, in this cactus frame, reach your elbows forward, hands back, look up possibly. Now take your hands down. One more time. Inhale, cactus arms. Fingers are spread, fingers are reaching back, heart is open. Exhale, take your hands down. Now we'll do one more nice heart opener by interlacing your fingers behind your head. Press your head back, hug your elbows in first. Now draw from the elbows back to the armpit, so you're getting this nice engagement there. Now spread your elbows wide, look up, get this nice fullness to your breath, and release your hands and come to all fours position on your mat. From all fours position, look at your knees. Now, can you find your feet? They should be hiding right behind the knees if everything's lined up. Tuck your toes under. Draw your heart forward. Bend your elbows so your pelvis is still lifted. Draw your heart right between your hands. Now draw forward, come up to fingertip top position, and then soften down. These baby cobras here help open the front side of the body as you lift up, and exhale, you draw down. You lift up again and draw down. Now by bending your knees and having your feet look toward the ceiling, see if you can get that nice opening all the way to the knees, nice lengthening from the front side of the body and down. And 2 more. Inhale, rise up, exhale down, and 1 more. Inhale, pulse up, exhale down. Now just as we did when we were seated, take your hands behind your head and inhale, lift up, exhale down. Inhale, rise up, exhale down. Inhale and exhale. Come to all fours position. In all fours position, tuck your toes under again. From all fours position, reach your left arm forward. Reach your right leg back. Bend your right knee as if trying to grab hold of your foot. Maybe you can. Just open your chest nicely. Release your left hand down, your right knee down with your toes tucked under. Draw your pelvis back toward your heels. Inhale, draw forward, and once again that 8-point pose. Draw your heart forward, then down, right between your hands. Inhale, draw your heart forward to lift up to a baby cobra with the elbows bent. Come back to all fours position. Extend your right arm forward. Reach your left leg back. Bend your left knee. Reach around. Maybe you can touch your low back. Maybe you can even find your foot and draw the head of your right arm bone back. Release your hand back to the mat. Your left knee back to the mat. Come to downward facing dog. And in downward facing dog, let's open up again. So reach your right leg back, lift it high, bend your right knee. Release your right foot back to the mat. Do the same with the left. Lift your left leg up, bend your left knee. Get this nice opening of the side body. Release your left foot down. Step your right foot right between your hands. Bring your back knee down. With your right foot forward, lift yourself up. So now the right knee is pretty much right over the right ankle. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Press your knuckles to the low back. Get this nice opening of the chest. Draw your heart down toward the inner right knee and lift your interlaced fingers up slightly. Inhale, lift yourself up, release your hands to the mat, step back to all fours position and downward facing dog. And downward facing dog for another side stretch. Lift up your heels so you're in tiptoes. Draw your heels over toward the right so you're lengthening to the left side. Inhale. Continue to create that spaciousness to the side body. Lift your heels up. Draw your heels to the left side, so the right side from the pelvis to the armpit. You feel lots of length there. Come back to the center position. Step your left foot right between your hands. Bring your back knee down. And in this lunge, the left knee is over the ankle. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Draw your heart down, but keep the heads of the arm bones drawing back so the shoulder blades hug in toward each other. When you feel like you've gone as far as you can, see about lifting your interlaced fingers up toward the sky. Release your hands to the mat and step your back foot forward. Place your hands to your low back and rise up. Step your left foot back. Grab hold of your elbows with your hands behind you, with your forearms compressing into the kidney area. Can you inflate that area just through the fullness of your breath? Create this fullness in the back body. Lift your gaze up. Stay balanced as you take more weight to the back leg. Now exhale, just draw forward slightly. We're not going too deep in the forward bends because in this detox, we're opening up the front side of the body and the sides of the body. We're just keeping this nice awareness to the back body as you draw down, but not too deep in a forward fold. Now inhale, rise up. Now step your left foot forward. Take your right foot back. Press your right heel down. Now take your arms so that the opposite arm is on top. Hold on to the elbows. If that doesn't work for you, hold on to your wrists. Put more weight to the right heel. Lean back into it. Open your chest nicely. Exhale, keep the back heel rooted. Come forward and slightly down. Keep your back heel so solid. Let your breath just continue to fill that kidney area. And you have this nice tactile impression of the forearms pressing into that area that give you the feedback. Now inhale, rise up. Release your arms and step your back foot forward. Step wide on your mat. In a wide stance. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Bend your knees. Draw your pelvis back. Draw forward. And again, in this practice, we're not doing deep forward bends. We're mostly just working on the shoulders in this action. And of course, in a wide stance, you want to keep the feet pulling in toward each other. Keep the legs active. And as you're ready, you can just slowly lift up your arms to however it works for you. Now you can release your hands down to the mat. With the fingertips on the mat, get tall. Press the fingertips down and lengthen the spine. Center your left hand and take your right hand to your low back and twist. Turn toward the right side. Lift up your right arm. Reach it forward toward the long edge of the mat. Release your right hand down. Take your left hand to the sacrum. Turn your heart toward the left side. As you're ready, lift your left arm up. Reach it forward. Release it down. Now heel toe your feet in toward each other. Bend your knees to place your hands to your low back and rise up. Sometimes when we've been looking at the computer a little bit too long, we get out of balance. And so balance poses in yoga are a really good thing to do when you're trying to detox from that experience of being in front of your computer or smartphone so long. So stand with your feet hip distance apart and stand tall. Put more weight on your right foot. Lift up your left foot and bring your left knee up toward your heart so that you can easily hold on to your left leg. Just give yourself a thigh stretch here. Now activate your lifted legs. See if you can spread your toes. Keep that. Reach your right arm forward. Just come to the form of this dancer pose. Can you reach your left leg back just a little bit more? For a nice thigh stretch. Release your hand and release your left foot. Come back to Tadasana. Take more weight on your left leg and just pause there. Feel really grounded. Maybe spread your toes so you get a little wider base for yourself before you lift your right leg up. And again, take the right knee pretty close to your ribs so that it's easy for you to grab onto the shin or the ankle or the top of the foot. Whatever that is for you, just stay balanced. Reach your left arm forward. Keep this nice opening in the chest. Now begin to reach your right leg back. Keep a nice opening on the front side of the body. Reach your foot back more so it helps to open the shoulder and you get this nice length on the right thigh. And as you're ready, you can release the right foot down. Come to a wide stance again. Turn toward the long edge of your yoga mat. Place your hands right at your hips. Turn your right toes out. Reach your arms up. Come to Untitled Trikonasana, triangle pose. Keep your back legs so solid. Before taking your right hand down, you can take a block and place your hand on the block or place your hand on your shin or the floor, whichever works for you. Now notice how the underside ribs get really short here. So as we try to get more length on that side, see if you can lift up a little taller so there's plenty of space for you to expand the underside ribs, to lift the underside ribs. From there, lift your left arm up. Take your left arm over so that we can get as much length to the left side, from the pelvis all the way to the armpit as possible. Now root down through the back foot. So take yourself out of the pose and release your hands. Come to the opposite side, turn your right toes in, your left toes out. Find fullness as you lift your arms up. Draw it down, and again, just play with it. Maybe at first you've gone a little bit too deep so that you feel the underside ribs. There's no length on the underside ribs. So to get that length, just lift up slightly out of the pose. So now you feel that length before reaching your right arm up. Reach your right arm over your head and enjoy the length here. Enjoy your breath. And root down through the back leg to help lift you up easily out of the pose. Release your hands and heel toe your feet in toward each other. We'll begin to make our way back to the mat. We'll do that through downward facing dog. In a variation of downward facing dog, we'll come to a side plank pose through downward facing dog. So then come to your right side, step your left foot back and lift yourself up, lift the pelvis up, reach your left arm over your head, come back through downward facing dog, and we'll come to the opposite side. So with your left hand and left foot bearing the weight, step your right foot behind you, reach your pelvis up, reach your right arm up and over, release now to come back to downward facing dog through a plank position and all the way down to the mat. Once you're on the mat, come to your forearms. Draw your elbows isometrically back as the heart moves forward. Inhale, lift the navel from the mat. Exhale, go deeper into this back bend. Pull the elbows back slightly. Draw your heart forward. And now push the elbows slightly forward. Again, that's an isometric action to draw the waistline away from your mat. One more time. With your fingers spread, your fingers engaged. So you're drawing from the fingertips to your elbows. Elbows draw back, heart moves forward. Now draw from the navel back to the spine to lift the navel away from the mat. Release back. Turn yourself over. With your knees bent, with your hands turned so that the fingers are pointing toward your toes. Bend your elbows, hug your elbows in and lift your chest. From here, lift your pelvis up and exhale, take your pelvis down. Those of you that are looking for a little bit more, you can straighten your legs in this pose called Purvottansana. It's a nice pose to get this nice fullness in the upper chest that we're looking for in our detox movements. With your fingers again pointed toward your toes, with your elbows bent, press down through the base of the index finger so that you can hug in without dumping too much weight into your wrist creases. Now inhale, lift up again. Pull from the heels toward your fingers. Really engage the hamstrings nicely. And release your pelvis down. One more time. Fingertip top position to begin with. Then base of the fingers, then the elbows bend, hug your elbows in to get a nice lift to the chest and try to keep that lift as you lift up your pelvis and get this nice fullness in your breath, in the pose. Keep the legs active. Now slowly release your pelvis down. Now release your spine down to the mat as well. Slowly lower yourself down. Lift your feet up off the mat. Take your arms in the cactus pose.
that we started with to really open up the upper chest. Lift your feet up, but keep your knees slightly bent. Spread your toes. Now just move your feet side to side like your legs are a very slow moving metronome. A slow moving metronome, like your beat is really a very slow beat. Just move so slow, side to side. Keep a nice engagement to the legs. Keep your shoulders grounded nicely. And as you go side to side, you get this nice massage in the gluteus. And if you feel like one area could use a little bit more attention, go even slower to give the weight of the movements to that area. Now release your feet down, extend your legs out, release your arms down and just turn your palms up. Invite a nice full in-breath through the nose. And a long out-breath through the nose. You breathe in through the nose. And out through the nose. In this practice, we lengthen through the sides of the body, from the pelvis to the armpit, on the right side, on the left side. Continue to explore that area just through the breath. Breathe in, expand the right side. Expand the left side. Breathe out long. We also practice poses that give us the feeling of so much more length from the pubic bone all the way to the collarbone. Let your breath expand to find the fullness of that area. Fill your lungs so that the upper lungs expand, almost as if they're creating this effect on your collarbone. Your breath very deep and full and long. Breathe very free and naturally.
Continue to enjoy this digital detox. Enjoy Savasana. Namaste.